I'm gonna warn y'all. I'm all fired up, Daddy. I am, I am ready to roll. I was gonna go to bed early tonight. I swear to you, when this stuff broke, I was in bed. I was watching TV. I was just about to fall asleep. I was just about there. It was gonna be night time, and it was gonna be all in the morning. It's one of those nights. I've already listened to the F4W Wrestling Observer Breaking News live audio with Dave and Brian podcast. It wasn't all that long, but I've already broken that down. And this is one of those nights that I wish this story would have broken a little bit early, because I can see myself going on YouTube trying to find out everybody's wrestling discussion. If I don't go on Skype, honestly, to talk to my friends, I honestly don't talk to them. That's about the only time. But when my phone rings and it's one of my my online Skype buddies, I know it's a big deal. We normally just sort of text each other, but I had a phone conversation with none other than freaking Yay88, which lasted about 10 minutes, maybe 15, just trying to go over every little thing that we can think of. I mean, honestly, this could be one of the biggest wrestling stories that we've got in a long, long time. Honestly, the last story that I think was pretty big was when CM Punk walked out of the WWE in 2011 around the Money in the Bank time, when he won the championship from John Cena. And we didn't know what was going to happen. Everybody knew that he was coming back. Everybody thought he was going to do this. Everybody thought he was going to do that. And it was just like, what if this happens? What if that happens? He shows up at Comic-Con. He shows up at the independent show in, I think it was Chicago, with him and Colt Cabana, and they're putting over the independent wrestler who wrestles with, I can't remember what sort of illness that the guy wrestles with, but, basically just put the guy over for loving wrestling. And, and sticking with it, even though, like, so many people would probably look at this guy and say that he can't do it because of this, that, or the other. I'm already loving all the wrestling discussion that I'm getting on Twitter. I'm getting the wrestling discussion on Facebook through the No DQ board. I put one video up early, which, honestly, I really didn't say anything. It just was, like, getting that, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, out of here. I mean, like, when I go through my comments, the one things I can tell you about going through my comments, there's people wondering if he's going to leave WWE and he's going to go back to Ring of Honor. The one thing I know is he's not going to be leaving and going back to Ring of Honor. Not that, he wouldn't want to go back and help that company out if he could. The fact is that he has a contract. I know it's kind of weird. It's been weirdly speculated about his contract, and people have said that, Payback is going to be in Chicago again, just in case, it is going to be his last show. There's been talk of him wanting to leave WWE when this contract is over for a little over a year. I went through and I found a video that I made, I think I made it in late June or July last year, basically just going over me saying that, like, I don't think there's a chance in hell he's going to be leaving. I mean, like, he's making a lot of money. And, I mean, I know the one thing that stuck out in my mind more than anything, if you go back to the CM Punk Best in the World DVD documentary, is that he's talking about when his contract was up in WWE. He was really sort of, not really happy about his placement on the card and where he was in WWE and how hard he worked to get to the top, and he thought he was one of the best wrestlers in the world, and that he just wasn't getting what he wanted. And one of his buddies, Joey Mercury, he was in the Straight Edge Society with him. He came up with them. I believe he was one of the, I don't want to say that because I don't think that's right anymore, but they were good buddies. They go back a long way. And I think they wrestled on some independent shows. I can't remember if it was an ECW show or if it was just at the ECW arena. I remember them saying something about that in there. And that's when they sort of found a connection and got together. But, he said, like, what do you want to do? And CM Punk was like, I want to change the WWE. He wants it to be, basically, one of the coolest quotes I've ever heard from him was on the Bill Simmons show from ESPN podcast, that he wants wrestling to be cool again. That's his one lifelong goal in WWE, is he wants wrestling to be like it was in the Monday Night Wars. He wants people, I don't think it's, wrestling fans wear wrestling shirts, but he wants more wrestling fans. It's not like he wants us to come out and be able to talk about wrestling and everything like that. Because that's what I told him when I met him. I said, I was however years old I was when I met. I think I was 30 when I met him. I might have been 29. I can't remember how long ago. It's been years. But I just said, I don't have a lot of people to talk wrestling about anymore, and that's what I want. I mean, like, you can get this shit popping again, and I could talk with people at work. And honestly, in the last 2 years, I've been able to come out and well, I don't think I've come out. I think that other people have come out to me. There's a few people at work that I'm able to talk wrestling with. They don't really know the other side of wrestling. They just sort of watch wrestling and they like talking about wrestling. So I can't talk to them about wrestling the way I talk to you guys about wrestling, because you don't want to tear down that wall and like, if you just flat out say like, oh, Batista's gonna win the Rumble, it's pretty fucking obvious they're not gonna watch the Rumble because you just told them what was gonna happen. So you just sort of like, who do you think's gonna win? Oh yeah, it's a good choice. You gotta watch this guy, and you know how it is. And that was one of his life's goals. He wanted to change WWE, and Joey Mercury just flat out said, you can't change WWE from sitting here on your couch. You gotta go back out there. You gotta get on the shows. You gotta get on the road, and you gotta show them how you want this to be and how you want him to change it. And that's basically, the one quote that said CM Punk said that, got him back out there wrestling again. And, for the WWE, and got him to re-sign the deal. He became the champion. He went on that long, sort of face tour, which honestly I didn't like. And when he did turn heel, it was a little bit too late for me. But I did love CM Punk's heel turn as a champion. I thought it was pretty cool that a champion would be the guy who actually turns heel, and he was going on longer. It wasn't like he lost the belt, he turned heel, he won the belt again, and he kept on running with it. He just, flat out just go to sleep on the rock, and that was it. That was all she wrote. CM Punk has always had that one sort of thing, how, he believes that he should be the face of the WWE, but the face of the WWE, it will always be John Cena. And people think that maybe it's because CM Punk doesn't care about his he doesn't care about his appearance, and he doesn't want to do this, he doesn't want to do that. The WWE pushed CM Punk very early, I guess you can say, in his career. I guess he debuted with ECW 2006-ish when he wrestled on those first ECW shows, when he was reincarnated and brought back on Sci-Fi. He won the belt on Raw in 2009, maybe-ish. I can't remember. I remember cashing in. I was going crazy. I was marking out. It wasn't like I was the biggest fan of CM Punk. It just was a moment that I honestly really didn't see coming. When he was able to cash in on, I think he cashed in on Raw. Well, I know he cashed in on Raw, but he cashed in against Edge when SmackDown had both championships. They needed to take one and get it back on him. And then his run as a champion honestly wasn't that good. It was like, honestly, a lot of people have said that they wanted to try and make him be a bigger star by giving him the belt, and it was like it just didn't give him the right rub, because they honestly weren't even pushing him that well. It was honestly like, your champion is supposed to be up here, but when it came to pay-per-views and cards and shit like that, CM Punk was the champion. It was here. And he needed to get to here. And even though he was champion then, it was, it wasn't until 2011 that it just started creeping up. And I think he's become a bigger star as it goes along. I thought in 2011, he was, pretty much at the top of where I thought he was going to be. And I think it just keeps on creeping up and getting higher and higher and higher. I don't think he'll ever surpass that one moment of being John Cena, unless John Cena has some sort of a career-ending injury or anything like that. But if John Cena is able to wrestle at the state he's in right now, I mean, like, John Cena is always going to be that guy. I mean, it's hard to put it into things like, because when I always think of the biggest stars in wrestling, there's always, Hulk Hogan. But, with Hulk Hogan, there was Macho Man. And even though they were so fucking close, the John Cena's right here, and Punk's right here, and WWE's never going to let it get to this. You know, they'll put the belt on Punk, but Cena's always going to be the main event. Or Cena's always going to wrestle Punk, and Punk's never really going to get to beat him. And it's one of the biggest matches that they could do. I mean, it's so weird to me. You know, like, so many people are throwing dream matches out there about this, that, or the other, and I haven't really seen anybody throw out a dream match of CM Punk against John Cena, when that is one of the best matches that they've done in WWE in a long, long time. And it was on fucking Monday Night Raw, and you know, it just blew the house down. That's one of the last great WWE matches that I've seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of good matches and a lot of matches that I really, really liked, but I mean, that's one of the matches that, you know, just plays out in mind when I'm like, I don't like to use 5-star ratings and this, that, and the other, but I mean, that's easy to call that match a 5-star rating. I'm talking about the pile driver match, of course, if you didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. But you know, Punk got knocked when he was champion. You know, the story came out where Undertaker didn't like the way he dressed because, you know, he's supposed to be the face of the champion. He's supposed to be, you know, looking like $1 million, and here he is looking like he just, you know, rolled out of bed and he walked out to do, you know, interviews or walk from the bus to this, that, or the other. And, you know, Punk wanted to be Punk. He didn't want to be anything else. WWE sort of sided with Undertaker. They took the veteran for his word, and, you know, basically that was all she wrote. Undertaker took the belt from Punk. And even then, I don't think Undertaker believed in him. They believed in him enough to have a great match with him last year at WrestleMania. I just can't get over how big and how huge this story is. I mean, like, people don't leave at this time of the year. I don't give a shit about, you know, the money. I don't know anything about the money. I don't know how much those guys make. It's a ton more than I can do, but I don't know. I mean, like, it's not like me or you. It's not like the guy at Burger King who gets pissed off on his shift, and, you know, he tells the manager, the fry cook, you know, fuck off, I'm leaving, and walks over across the street and gets a job at you know, Taco Bell or something like that. I mean, like, it's serious. I mean, you sign contracts for dates and this, that, and the other, and I mean, like, this can get held up for a long, long time, and this can get real, real ugly if CM Punk doesn't, you know, face up the music and head on back and get over there. I thought about, you know, AJ, and, you know, WWE likes to use certain things about it. I know that AJ Lee has always wanted to be a wrestler. It's been her lifelong dream, but, you know, this is the guy that she's with at this point right now, and it just matters, like, you know, if Punk stays out, are they gonna, you know, take it out on AJ, you know, because that's just what they do sometimes, or if they're just gonna leave her alone and treat her extra nice and give her the, you know, the sweet two shoes sort of feeling, because, you know, she's gonna be going home on her off days and talking to CM Punk and saying, you know, they really want you back, you know, maybe say this changed or that changed, and I don't know. I can't think of a story that's as big as this in a long time that affects everything. Brian and Dave pretty much, they didn't really say that that's what it was supposed to be, but I think that everybody could see the writing on the wall for CM Punk is that he was going to have to face Kane. And I don't think it's a real knock on Kane. You know, I'm not the biggest Kane fan, but, you know, a match against Kane doesn't really mean anything at WrestleMania. I think of Kurt Angle and Randy Orton and Triple H. You think of any Kane match at WrestleMania, they've never really meant anything. I mean, the Taker match, yeah, because he was fresh and he was new, but maybe the Taker match at 20 you might think of because Taker was gone and it was the rebirth of Undertaker as Undertaker. But I mean, honestly, I have 2 separate Best of Kane DVDs sitting on my shelf, and I can't think of one match on those that I want to watch right now. I respect the hell out of Kane. I just don't like him that much. And I'm sure he'll be a Hall of Famer someday, but I don't know, man. This is crazy. I mean, like, I remember the story in 2002 when Stone Cold left, and this is as big as that. What's tomorrow gonna bring? Because I want to know. I mean, I keep thinking about this and racking in my mind. What are you guys thinking about? This is crazy.